crowd. I have to admit to you that when I walked out here, I was smiling and everything, but I was a little bit traumatized, thinking that it was time for me to run again. I've already had to do this 5 doggone times in 3 years. I got you. Thank you all so very much. It's great to be here. Let's hear it for our incredible speakers, ordinary citizens, just laying it out. Dr. Moore, Christopher, Kathleen. I'm so excited to be here with you to talk to you about why we have to re-elect the senior senator from Georgia. But I want to take a moment to address what our state, indeed what our nation has been through this year. It feels like a year. Folks in this room know that it's been a scary couple of months. Let's hear it. No problem. That's just the Doge brothers, you know. They in somebody's computer messing with something. Let's hear it for our federal workers. Come on, let's hear it for the federal workers. The Trump administration has been working overtime trying to demonize our neighbors, our federal workers, the folks who protect our public health, who take care of our veterans, who keep our food and our water safe. And perhaps they are easy targets because they're doing such a great doggone job that we take for granted the things that they're protecting us from. And so thousands of federal workers have been recklessly and even illegally fired. But we'll continue to stand up because our federal workers really are the glue. Healthcare, public health, food safety, air safety, Social Security, Medicare. These are constituent parts of the covenant we have with one another as an American people. And our federal workers administer the content of that covenant. And so when you attack them, you attack us. And we're not going to take that line down. Am I right about that? And so we have been witnessing a man who promised to be a dictator on day one, living up to that promise. He's stonewalling congressional oversight. He's already ignoring court orders, talking about impeaching judges who don't agree with him. But not only that, the unelected co-president, Elon Musk, is running amok in our government, slashing critical programs left and right. In fact, Mr. Musk had the unmitigated audacity to call Social Security a Ponzi scheme. I guess that's easy for a billionaire who's been living on the government dole to say. He doesn't understand the struggles of ordinary people, and that is the problem with this administration. They are incapable of understanding the experiences of ordinary people. They've gone out of their way to target seniors. This administration just announced that they are offering fewer services by phone, so folks have to wait up to a month for an in-person appointment. Now, that's what I call government efficiency. This isn't the change people wanted. This is a war on seniors, and it will not stand. And why are they doing all of this? They are creating. You all got more call and response than a Black Baptist church. It's all right, I'm right at home. But you keep pushing me hard, I'm gonna raise an offering. We should not be surprised. They are having and conducting a war on ordinary people because they don't understand the struggles of ordinary people. I'm a boy from South Georgia, from Savannah. My mama used to say, birds of a feather flock together. It's a way of saying, it's a way of saying that you can know who Donald Trump is standing for based on who was sitting on that stage when he was inaugurated. Birds of a feather flock together. And they're creating all of this carnage. I mean, this is serious stuff, folks. I mean, this is painful for a lot of families. This is not a game. There are folks who are trying to figure out how to make their lives work as they create all of this carnage. And as they do all of this, they're doing it all just to pass a tax cut for the wealthiest people in the United States. And so they are busy attacking ordinary people. They don't understand what it's like to have to fight to cover the cost of child care. They don't understand what it's like to have to ration your prescription drugs, or what it's like to try to figure out how to afford groceries, even the price of a dozen eggs. In the words of that prophet who just spoke at the Super Bowl, they not like assure you that with the tools that we have, we are fighting back and pushing back. We stood up and we began to fight for federal workers, and they had to rehire some of those workers at CDC. They are trash-talking Social Security because they want to get rid of Social Security, but we're going to stand. You will not touch my mother's Social Security. And so we will fight the good fight, I promise you. But I don't want you to underestimate your own power. Because we are a government for the people, of the people, by the people, and the power is really with the people. I 2 weeks ago, I was in Selma, observing the 60th anniversary of the passage of the Voting Rights Act. And the wonderful thing about being in Atlanta is we walk among giants like Andrew Young. I just left the church where he was saying farewell to his daughter. He was at his daughter's funeral on the way here. But Andy Young told me a story that I shall never forget. He said that after they passed the Civil Rights Law of 1964, Dr. King went to the White House to speak to President Lyndon Baines Johnson. And he said to President Johnson, "Thank you, I'm glad we passed the Civil Rights Law, but that's not enough. We've got to have a voting rights law." And LBJ said, "Martin, I understand what you're saying, but you need to understand the limitations of politics. I have already expended so much political capital just getting that civil rights law passed. There's no way right now I can get a voting rights law passed. I would do it. It's not that I don't want to do it. I just can't get it done right now. I don't have the power." He said over and over again, "I would do it, but I don't have the power." And as they left the White House, Andrew Young said, "What are we going to do, Dr. King?" Dr. King said, "Well, I guess we're going to have to get the president some power." And so that's why they went down to Selma. They went down to Selma to give the most powerful man on the planet some power, and within a few months they passed the voting rights law. I'm trying to tell you that you have more power than you think you have. And if you make some noise in the streets, I promise you, we'll fight for you in the suites. Are you ready to make some noise? And so hear me, my beloved. We're in a fight for our lives. We're in a fight for health care. We're in a fight for our democracy. We're in a fight for workers. We're in a fight for seniors. We are in a fight for the identity of our country. We are a nation of immigrants. Contrary to what they're trying to say, most immigrants, the overwhelming majority of immigrants, are not engaged in criminal activity. They are not. They are not burning things down and taking what doesn't belong to them. They are not living as freeloaders on the dole of the government. Most immigrants are nothing like Elon Musk. And so, as I close, and nobody believes a Baptist preacher when he says as I close. Here is the important moral work you must do. We must not give in to those who are trying to weaponize despair. Because if they convince us, then we'll stop fighting. And then they've already won. But when we stand up, we win. When we show up, we win. When we fight, we win. When we vote, we win. understand that it is the great state of Georgia. I know that the times are hard, but don't you dare forget that in 2020, when the nation needed somebody, Georgia saved the whole country. And Georgia, because you understand better than anybody that elections matter, I need you to do it again. I know you're looking at the terrible consequences of this election, but don't forget about what we got done because of that election. Had you not sent a poor black kid from the housing projects to be the first black senator from Georgia, and had you not sent a Jewish young man, the son of immigrants, to be the first Jewish senator from Georgia, we would not have passed the expanded child tax credit. We would not have done infrastructure. We would not have put black women on the courts of our nation. We would not have a Ketanji Brown Jackson. Elections matter, and you have the power to make a difference again and again and again. So don't you dare give up. Don't you give in to despair. Don't you let them win. You've got to help us to fight. Give us some power, and we'll keep fighting for you. Send John Ossoff back to the United States Senate. Are you ready to get it done? Let's fight together. Let's pray together. Let's stay together, because when we stand together, we win. God bless you. Would you welcome John Ossoff?